Hi Fuel fans, welcome inside our WebStream Sports studios for a special edition today of Fuel Insider. It's a Fuel mid-season update with Fuel Governor and CEO Jim Hallett. Jim, thank you so much for being here today. As we near the midway point of the inaugural season, we thought it'd be fun to take an in-depth look at all facets of the Fuel organization. So I guess where we might want to begin is with sort of the general response from the hockey fans here in Indianapolis to pro hockey's return. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, well, thank you. First of all, Tony, it's good to be with you. I would have to tell you that I'm very pleased with where we are in our first season. I think as you think about bringing hockey back to a city that is a very competitive sports town, it takes time to build a fan base, and we knew we had a core base of hockey fans in this town, and we're building on that brand. There's no question that season ticket sales are probably where we expected them to be at this point in the first year. And then game day sales has been very good, and I think that fans have come and they've seen and they've been entertained, and I think that we're seeing our attendance continues to grow and the fans are returning.
Absolutely. You know, that's not to say that there haven't been a few things, a few lessons to be learned for the Fuel early on in the year. What are some of those things that you guys have already learned about the hockey business? Good
point. I think as an inaugural season, you're learning lessons along the way. One of the things we've obviously identified is early in the season we played a lot of games in a very, very short time period. There was one point in time we played 4 games in 5 nights in the first few weeks. And that does a couple things. Number one, it's very difficult for your front office. We have a lot of new people in the organization. We're building an organization. These people are learning new jobs and new responsibilities, and sometimes it doesn't give you time to come up for air and catch your breath between games. The other thing, it took a little bit of a toll on the hockey team. When you think about these players coming to camp, they've been in camp for a couple weeks, playing 5 games in a very short period of time. We suffered a number of injuries, as any other team probably did as well, but it seemed we got hit especially hard in the early going, and it took a little bit of a toll on players and kind of got us out of the gates a little bit slow.
Absolutely. Let's shift gears. You know, there's been a lot of milestones throughout the development of this franchise, the implementation of the organization. One of those was securing a great naming rights partner in Indiana Farmers Mutual Insurance Company for the Coliseum. That had to be a huge day for the organization.
It was a huge day, and I can tell you that we're honored to have the opportunity to work with Indiana Farmers Insurance along with the State Fairgrounds. I think not only is it a great sponsor, but it becomes the cornerstone of really cementing hockey future here in the Indianapolis community. And when you think about the fairgrounds and you think about the Coliseum, what better name could you put on top of that building as we go back in history and think the Coliseum and the fairgrounds was built around farming and agriculture. So to have Indiana Farmers Insurance is a wonderful sponsor for us.
A wonderful sponsor, a wonderful relationship there. Another great relationship for the organization has been the partnership with the Chicago Blackhawks. The affiliation both on and off the ice seems to be a fantastic one with the NHL affiliate. What's the relationship been like with the Blackhawks so far?
I would tell you again, we couldn't have a better affiliation. The Blackhawks have been a tremendous organization. You know, we've had, from a player standpoint, obviously Coach attended the training camp and the rookie camp and has been involved with the coaches and the players at the NHL level. And we've had a number of players go back and forth. I think now we've had 5 players go up to the AHL, and that's really what our league does. It's a developmental league, and it's getting the players to the next level, being able to go on and play in the AHL, and obviously realize their dream of maybe someday playing in the NHL. Excuse me. So that's been good. But beyond the hockey is the support the Blackhawks have given us in terms of their resources. You know, to have what I would consider the best national anthem singer in all of professional sports at our inaugural game, and then at Blackhawk Night, to have Gene Honda, their PR addresser for the Chicago Blackhawks, come and do an ECHL game with as much enthusiasm and energy as he has for the NHL game. And then, of course, when we had Blackhawks Night, to have Bobby Hull in the building was just a phenomenal event. And, you know, as Bobby Hull came into the building, it wasn't just Bobby Hull coming in and dropping a puck. It was Bobby Hull, one of the greatest all-time hockey players ever, coming in and spending hours and hours with our fans before the game and during the game. and even went into the dressing room after the game and gave a post-game speech to the players that absolutely put goosebumps on you. So I think when I think of the Blackhawks organization, I think of classy, professional, committed, just great people to do business with.
Well, the NHL affiliation has been a big part of the Fuel's inaugural season for sure. Another big part for any first-year organization is generating support within the business community. So what have the corporate partners and corporate sponsors for the Fuel meant to the entire organization's efforts this year in its first year?
Well, again, I'll go back to my comment. This is a very competitive town when it comes to sports and sports advertising, where people are going to spend their money. And at this point in the season, I would say that we're very pleased with where we are. By no means are we done. We still have a lot of assets that we need to sell and continue to sell as we go forward. But with that, the support has been good. And I think we really bring a unique offering to our sponsors. Not only do our sponsors get to get the advertising from the hockey games, but they get advertising 365 days of the year. So whether it be from IUPUI basketball, or whether it be from concerts or other events that take place in the Coliseum, our sponsors are getting exposure around the year, around the calendar, as I say, and that really creates a win-win for both sides.
Lots of value there, to be sure. Well, I'd be remiss, Jim, if we didn't talk a little bit of hockey in this segment today. I think we can all agree the position in the standings for the Fuel, not where you'd like it to be, but it seems as though Coach Hillman's doing what he can do through transactions and through some changes in the dressing room to try and turn this thing around. What's your take on the on-ice direction for the Fuel?
Yeah, there's no question that I would say that I'm disappointed with where we are in terms of the win-loss column. I recognize that we're a first-year team. We have a lot of rookies and have a lot of young players coming in. But I also believe that the season's not half over yet. And I've challenged Coach Hillman to do everything that he can do to get our team into the playoffs. As we sit today, we're 12 points out. We're going on the road this week for 4 games, coming back to Indy next week for a 3-game weekend. We have a good run here for the next week or two. We can be right back in the thick of the race. And, you know, winning's not everything, but I recognize that fans like to come to the rink and they want to see a winning team. And I believe that they want to see a ownership group and a coaching group that is committed to doing everything we can to win, because winning is fun. So with that, we're going to press as hard as we possibly can. We're going to make the changes that we need to make to try and get ourselves into that playoff spot.
Well, it sounds great, and I'm sure the fans love to hear that message. Jim, thank you again so much for your time today, for coming in. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the fans directly here before we say goodbye?
First of all, big thank you. I think the fans have been phenomenal. And quite frankly, you know, Tony, as we set out on this, you know, one of our very basic philosophies was affordable family fun entertainment. So yes, there's a hockey game going on, and yes, it's important to win hockey games, but it's also important for you to come there with your family and have a good time. And I think from an organizational standpoint, under the leadership of Sean as president and overseeing the entire hockey organization, I think he's done a good job of putting together a very passionate group of employees that are passionate about the game, passionate about our fans, passionate about putting on a great game day experience, whether it be with our mascot Nitro, whether it be the music, the dance cam, the kiss cam, whether it be the shoot the puck contest, whether it be the events that are going on between periods. I think we're creating a very vibrant venue, and we want to continue to provide that experience every game, and for the fans to continue to want to come back because they had a great time.
Well, it's been a great first half of the year, long season in the ECHL, so plenty of hockey left. Jim, thank you again so much for your time today.
Great, thank you, Tony.
Okay, that is Fuel Governor and CEO Jim Hallett. This has been a special edition of Fuel Insider, your Fuel mid-season update. Until next time, from our Webstream Sports Studios, I'm Tony Brown.